as you can tell by the video title, I've also had to turn off the music. I turned the music down, the in-game music that was licensed to be put on the game. I've had to turn it off because my last video was completely audioless. Like, there was nothing. You couldn't hear shit. Actually, speaking of which, I might just fucking double check that it's actually recording from my microphone. It is! Good! Fuck! Anyway, the New Zealand penal system is fucked! Basically. Let's talk sustained loss of traction, right? 2 weeks ago, I was at an intersection, a light-controlled intersection, in the wet, sitting on top of a painted white stripe, which, by the way, when they're wet, are incredibly slippery. Light turned green, I took off, left-hand front wheel spun because I was turning left. Wasn't intentional, but didn't get traction back, couldn't get traction back, even though I was feathering the throttle to actually get the traction back. In the end, I gave up because I just wasn't getting any traction. Next thing you know, there's a little bit of smoke and blue and red lights behind my fucking car. So I get pulled up a block and a bit later because there was nowhere for me to pull over. I was on my way into work to see what time I started the next day. Awesome. So I get pulled over, right? Cop asks me to get out of the car after he tells me that my car's getting impounded for spinning a tyre. Got into the back of the police car. A little bit afterwards, the dude's writing some shit down and all that sort of thing, and he turns around and he looks, and he just turns around and looks at me and says, "You do realise that you're being arrested right now?" It's like, I'm being arrested for spinning a tyre? Okay, so we continued, and he also turns around and says to me afterwards, again, that you're being arrested, your car's been impounded, and here's a court summons. A court summons! For spinning a tyre! That wasn't intentional. I didn't mean to do it. And here I am, sitting in the back of a police car, arrested, being issued a court summons. My car is being towed away in front of me. So, went to the court today. No loss of license today, which I'll get to that in just a second. I ended up waiting in the courthouse for almost 2 hours before a duty lawyer came and seen me, and I talked to her. Even the duty lawyer was pissing herself laughing because she thought it was a complete fucking joke. But in New Zealand, sustained loss of traction is under this fucking stupid law that they have for boy racers. Do I look like a boy racer? I drive buses for a living. I'm wearing a winter jacket, for fuck's sake. And so I explained everything to her. It wasn't intentional. Definitely wasn't intentional. My life is literally my license. I'm a professional driver, and so, you know, I was a lot calmer about it with her, obviously, because she was actually a really nice lady. But so she actually said to me, "Could you wait in here for a little bit? I'll go out and talk to the police, and I'll have a look at your, you know, the file that was there with it." And so she went out, had a look, had a chat, all that sort of shit, and comes back in with a card saying, "Your court hearing has actually been moved to the 21st. I suggest you go and see a lawyer, get them to talk about it, because I suggest you actually defend it." So why do I need to defend it? Like, all I did was spin a tyre. It's like, yeah, well, regardless, if I was to go in with you today, you would lose your license for 6 months! 6 months! Fuck! Like, here's how it would progress. Okay? My car's sitting in the impound. I can actually pay to get that out, regardless of what happens. But it's $410 to get it out of the impound. which is fucking perfect. So there's the 6 months loss of license, $500 fine, court costs on top of that, and if I wanted to keep driving, I'd have to buy a, what did she call it, some sort of fucking temporary license that allows me to still drive. $1,000 to $3,500 is what the cost of that license would be. Like, I'm fucking, this is, oh my god, our penal system is retarded. Like, I spun one tyre, left hand front, one tyre, not both, one. And I'm going to be up to my balls in debt because of it. It's like, what the fuck? Like, I'm a professional driver by career. You know, I drive 15-ton vehicles for a living. And it's possible that I'm going to lose my license for 6 months because of spinning a tyre. Seriously, if anybody from our judiciary system in New Zealand watches this video and sees it, for the love of fuck, change it. Like, what's it? Okay, here's another scenario. Alright, now, what if it was a 70-year-old woman? For example, my missus' mum. Alright? She lost traction for quite a long time last week. What if she was to do that and a policeman was to see her? What would happen then? Because it's under the boy races, whatever the fuck it is, what would happen then? She did exactly the same thing I did. What would happen? 70-year-old woman. Try to figure that fucking shit out. Well, I am sorry for all the swearing, but this is ridiculous. If you're thinking about coming over to New Zealand, don't spin your tyres on a public road. They will fuck you royally for no fucking reason. Most ridiculous thing I've ever done. Losing your license for 6 months for drink driving, I can understand that. Losing your license for genuine reckless driving, I can understand that. But losing your license for 6 months for spinning a tyre! What? Oh. Sorry. I'll have to compose myself now. We've got scaffolding out around the house at the moment. We've had the entire roof and the spouting replaced on the house. The guys are here just tearing down the spouting now. So yeah, that's my situation at the moment. Because I spun a tire, all that shit could happen. It's like, it makes no sense. It really doesn't. Look, you know, if I was actually in a car that looked boy racers, I have a family wagon. A Honda Accord family wagon. Fucking thing even has a tow bar on the back. You know. I think it was more the fact that it's a loud car. The loudness of my car makes everything that I do sound much worse than what it actually is. I reckon that's just it. That and the fact that the cops that pulled me over were just bored fucking stiff, because when I did it, there was literally no one else on the intersection. Like, the intersection was bare. There was no one. It was barren. Anyway. Yeah, I'm fucking astonished. Just the fact that I thought it was only going to be like 28 days that I was going to lose my life. No, 6 months. 6 months for spinning my wheel. And I didn't even do it on purpose. It was wet. My car's a front wheel drive. Makes no fucking sense. Anyway, if you have been watching, thank you. Sorry for the yelling. Kind of a little bit stressed out at the moment. And relatively confused. But, yeah. On another note, as you can see, I've progressed quite a bit. I now have unlocked the Skyline GTR. Because I pre-ordered, I actually got the game 3 days earlier than the actual release date. So I've done quite a bit. I've finished 3 of the leagues. I've still got the Drift League to finish. And then fucking everything will kick off from there. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you have been, subscribe if you're new. Like the video if you liked it. And, you know, hopefully by the next time I do a video, I will still have my license.